Hello?
1 minute.
Hmm?
Okay, sir.
Dear students, very good afternoon. So far, we discussed few topics of current electricity. We started what is current, what is the origin of electrical current, electrical resistance, potential difference, electromotive force, resistors in series, resistors in parallel. So far, these topics we completed. Today, I recall a few definitions of what we discussed in the previous classes. Then we'll go to the today's new topic. Electrical current. Electrical current. Electrical current. Electrical current means flow of electrical charges through a conductor in unit time or in 1 second. Flow of charges through a given cross section of a conductor in unit time or in 1 second. It is also called as rate of flow of charges. Rate means per second or per unit time. So, you know the meaning of electrical current. In generally, in conductors, metallic conductors, electron is the charge carrier. Due to its motion, electrical current will created in conductors, in metallic conductors. Right. What is potential difference? We already come across it. It is the work done to transfer or to move unit positive charge from one point to other point. The work done in transferring unit positive charge from one point to other point in electrical field is called as potential difference, right? Electromotive force. It is either work done or energy supplied by the cell to drive unit charge along the circuit. Cell, a device which converts chemical energy into electrical energy or electrical energy into chemical energy. Group of cells, battery, group of cells, right? Resistance, resistance. It is the opposition offered by a conductor to the electrical current. Opposition offered by a conductor to the electrical current. Resistance is represented with R. Unit of current is represented with I. Unit of current is ampere. potential difference unit is volt. Electromotive force unit also volt. Battery, of course, resistance unit is ohm. We come across Ohm's law also. V is equal to IR. V is equal to IR. Ohm's law. V is equal to IR. We know that electrical current in a conductor is directly proportional to potential difference between the ends of the conductor. This is called as potential Ohm's law. Ohm's law. All these things we come across in the previous classes. And the resistance unit is, resistance formula is R is equal to V by I. We can also define resistance as the ratio in between potential difference and electrical current. So these are the things we must keep in our memory definitely, right? We will discuss some problems regarding series combination and parallel combination of resistors. Already we know that if resistors are connected in series like this, one after other, the resultant or effective resistance is R1 plus R2 plus R3. If resistors are connected just like this, parallel, the resultant resistance is R, then its reciprocal is 1 by R. 1 by R is equal 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Right? These derivations we come across in the previous classes. Right? Now we are going to discuss few problems regarding series and parallel combination of resistors. 6 ohm, today problem number 1. 8 ohm, 12 ohm resistors are connected in series. In series, what is the resultant resistance? The resultant resistance in series combination is R1 plus R2 plus R3. So 6 plus 6 ohms plus 8 ohms plus 12 ohms, that is 26 ohms, isn't it? 12 plus 8, 20 plus 6, 26. If these are connected in parallel, 1 by resultant resistance in parallel is equal 1 by 6 plus 1 by 8 plus 1 by 12. So there is a need to find the LCM for these three resistances. 6, 8, 12. 2 3s are, 2 4s are, 2 6s are. 2 once again, 3 times, 2 times, 3 times. 3 1 time, 1. 3 2s are 6. 6 4s are 24. So LCM is 24. 6 goes 4 times in 24. 4 into 1, 4. 8 3 times, 3 into 1, 3. 12 2 times, 2 into 1, 2. 4 plus 3, 7 plus 2, 9. 9 by 24. Therefore, resultant resistance in parallel combination is 24 by 9. Approximately, or just less than 8 ohms. Approximately, or just keep like this only, no problem. So if resistors are connected in parallel, this is the process. Let us come to a general thing, what they are asking in examinations. Two resistors of resistance R1 ohms, R2 ohms are connected in parallel. What is the resultant resistance? We know that 1 by R is equal 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So 1 by R is equal, right? Here LCM is R1, R2. In R1, R2, R1 goes R2 times plus R2 goes R1 times. So resultant is R is equal R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. A simple formula. If two resistors of resistances R1 ohm, R2 ohm connected in parallel, the resultant resistance is R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. Once again, two resistors of resistances R1 and R2 ohms are connected in parallel. The resultant resistance is this, shortcut, a simple formula. For example, 3 ohm and 4 ohm resistors are connected in parallel. What is the resultant resistance? Simply R is equal R1 R2 3 into 4 by R1 plus R2 3 plus 4, that is 12 by 7, or you can divide or keep like this, 12 by 7 ohms, right? So we can do any number of problems like this. Okay, let us come to today's topic. Today's topic is how to find resistance or current, potential difference in a given circuit. If circuit is somewhat complicated or where Ohm's law is not applicable, in such cases, we are to calculate IVR, we are using two more laws. They are called as Kirchhoff or Kirchhoff, whatever it may be, Kirchhoff or Kirchhoff laws. So we are going to concentrate on Kirchhoff's laws. Kirchhoff laws. Very, very important laws, very useful in solving IVR in large or very extended circuits, right? Kirchhoff proposed two laws. One is called as point law or point law or Kirchhoff current law. Kirchhoff or Kirchhoff, no problem. Kirchhoff current law. It is also called as node law. Kirchhoff node law. Node law, point law, current law, whatever it may be. These are different names used at different textbooks about Kirchhoff first law, right? This Kirchhoff first law states through which two or more than a junction, say wo, this is a junction. Okay. Here, 5 paths are approaching this junction or passes through this junction, right? Means from 5 paths, electrical currents either coming towards this point or going away from this point. So this is the junction. Let us keep J for junction, or you can put O or any other name. To this junction, a current I1 is coming from this junction J, current I2 is going away. To junction, another current I3 is coming, another current I4 is coming, and I5 amperes current is leaving the junction. Whatever it may be, they will give like this. At junction, 5 currents are meeting. Some currents are approaching the junction, some currents are leaving the junction. Junction law, point law, Kirchhoff current law, node law, whatever it may be, it tells that at a junction, the sum of algebraic currents is 0. The sum, SUM sum. Sum of algebraic sum of electrical currents is 0. What is algebraic means? Algebraic sum means adding currents with giving proper signs. After giving proper sign to a current and they are summed up, that is called as algebraic sum of electrical currents. So what sign we have to give? If currents are approaching, generally, if currents are approaching, to that current give positive sign. If currents are receding from the junction, going away from the junction, going away in simple terms, away from the junction, or receding from the junction, they are giving negative sign in generally, right? Okay. Then apply the Kirchhoff this sign convention to these currents. I1 is approaching the junction, so plus I1. I2 is leaving, minus I2. I3 is approaching, plus I3. I4 is approaching, plus I4. And I5 is going away, minus I5. So the sum is equal to 0. Algebraic sum means we given sign to the currents. What sign? What is sign convention here? For the currents which are approaching the junction J are given positive sign, and currents going away from the junction given negative sign. You can take vice versa. If you given negative sign to the approaching currents, you must give the positive sign to the receding currents. So what is our junction law of currents? What is Kirchhoff junction law? It tells about the currents at a junction. the algebraic sum of all electrical currents at a junction is 0. That means what? How much current is approaching the junction, the same must be leave from the junction. Therefore, the total becomes 0. Simply, how much the current is, what total current is approaching the junction, the same must be leave from the junction, isn't it? You can say like that also. Current law, Kirchhoff current law tells that, defines that or states that how much current is approaching the junction, the same must be leave the junction. Or the algebraic sum of electrical currents at a junction is equal to 0.
Sir, Aditya sir. Hello. Mute and unmute చేయండి sir. Sir, Srinivasrao garu, your mic is unmuted. Please unmute the mic. Srinivasrao sir, unmute చేయండి. Mic unmute చేయండి. Sir, can you hear me? Srinivasrao sir. You are muted, please unmute.
Two resistors are there. Two resistors are there means two electrical appliances are there. It is a bulb or any other appliance. It must contain some resistance, so it is represented. So this is a mesh. So what is Kirchhoff's second law? Kirchhoff's second law is voltage law, loop law, mesh law. It tells us in a closed mesh, algebraic sum of potential drops algebraic sum of potential drops and electromotive forces is 0. Once again, in a closed loop or closed mesh, the sum of algebraic sum, algebraic sum, the algebraic sum of potential drops and electromotive forces is 0 in a closed mesh, simply. Then what is potential drop? Already we come across, here we can understand like this. To drive the current, some electromotive force is expended at the resistors that can be taken as potential drop as far as this topic is concerned, discussed. Right? Let us assume a current I is generated here, traveling like this, and finally approaches this cell. So current direction generally they will give. We can take anyone, no problem. Right. What is our law once again? The algebraic sum of potential drops and electromotive forces in a given closed loop is 0. That is second law. Then how to put this statement into mathematical form? We are going to concentrate upon it, right? To implement this statement to the mathematical form, to get the mathematical equation, we have to follow the sign convention. We have to follow the sign convention. Okay. First thing in the first rule in the sign convention, first sign convention is whenever we enter into the cell, through what terminal we are entering into the cell, through what terminal we are entering into the cell, let us give that terminal sign to the electromotive force of that cell, simply. Please observe here. What sign is to be given to the electromotive forces? In the circuit, in this closed loop, two cells are there. Two cells are there. Two cells contain some electromotive forces. Let us start at any point, your wish. Let us start here. I'm starting here and finally I have to come to here to get a mathematical equation between the electromotive forces and potential drops. I started here, I approached the cell, right? Okay. I approached the cell and coming like this. Okay. I am started at point A of the circuit. I have to come to this point A once again. I have to come to this point A once again. Right? Here, a cell of electromotive force E2 volts. I'm entering into the cell. I'm entering into the cell through negative terminal. Negative terminal. Right? So I have to take this negative sign to this electromotive force. So minus E2, simply. In different textbooks, they may give whatever it may be, but the meaning is only this. When we are entering, each and every cell contains some electromotive force. What sign we have to give to the electromotive force of a given cell? When we are entering into the cell, through what terminal we are entering, that sign we have to give. Here we are entering into the cell E2. While I am calculating the currents, potential drops and electromotive force, I started at A and entered into the cell E2. I am entering into the cell through terminal, negative terminal, isn't it? This is small one is negative, large line is positive of the cell. So I am entering into the this cell to negative terminal. So give negative sign. And I'm coming to here. I'm entering into second cell or this cell through the positive terminal. So give plus E1, simply. So this is the sign convention to the electromotive forces of the cells, right? Then two electromotive forces are over, two potential drops are there. Wherever a resistance, to drive the current through the resistance, there will be some potential drop. So potential drop. Here some potential drop is there. Let us say V1. Here another resistance, here potential drop will be there, that is V2. If we are solving the circuit, for Kirchhoff laws, if we are traveling in the direction of current, I am traveling in the direction of current, all the potential drops come across in the direction of flow of current are taken as a negative. Once again, all the potential drops are taken negative if we travel in the direction of current. So here I am traveling like this. So current is traveling like this. Then here potential drop is V1 is I into R, I into R1. I into R1 is the potential drop. V is equal to IR. If we are traveling in the direction of current, then give it negative sign. Simply give it negative sign. Here is another potential drop. While I am solving the circuit, I am coming in the direction of current. Here also potential drop is, how much it is? V2, that is IR2 minus IR2 minus IR2. This total is 0. This total is 0. No need to worry. We'll do so many problems regarding this application of Kirchhoff laws to a mesh or a junction. No problem. I will explain plenty of problems, plenty of different model problems regarding circuits. So once again, here in the circuit, there are two cells. Two electromotive forces are there. A cell will supply chemical energy to drive the electrical charges. Electromotive force here is E1, here is E2. How to take a sign for those electromotive force? While solving the circuit, from which terminal you enter into the battery, that terminal sign is taken to the electromotive force. I started here. I'm entering into this cell to the negative terminal. So negative sign is given to cell. I enter into this cell through positive terminal. So positive sign is given to this cell. And what are the other things? Two potential drops are there. If you solving the circuit while you are traveling, while you are solving the circuit, you are going in the direction of current, the potential drops occurs must be taken as negative. So you are solving like this. Wherever there is a resistor, there must be a potential drop. Yes, at this resistor, what is the potential drop? Current into resistance. So you are traveling in the direction of current only. So minus IR1. Of course, if you travel while you are solving the circuit, if you come in this direction, you are coming in this direction, current is coming in this direction. When you travel opposite to the current direction, the potential drop occur must be positive. That must be taken into consideration. So this is the way. So in the given circuit, two electromotive forces are there, two potential drops are there. Their algebraic summation is equal to 0. Algebraic means giving sign, and then we are adding, giving sign to the given parameters, then we are adding. So this is Kirchhoff mesh law voltage law, loop law, or second law. What is it? In a closed loop, the algebraic sum of electromotive forces and potential drops is 0. This is based on conservation of energy, whereas the first law is based on conservation of charge, Kirchhoff's first law. Kirchhoff's second law is based on conservation of energy. Keep this point in memory, right? Conservation of energy. Okay. So these are the Kirchhoff laws useful to find I value